You literally cannot make this up. Man, the New York Jets, I tell you. Every year it is something different, something insanely crazy, and the Joe Willie curse just keeps living on. And after we throw Zach Wilson to the trash because we want to scapegoat him as the reason why this team cannot perform, and then to find out that Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian, probably weren't nearly as good as Zach Wilson in the first place, and obviously there's a lot more fundamental issues with the Jets, from the O-line to the receivers to the moves that Joe Douglas made to the coaching staff. Just there are issues across the board. I just want to state this. I am by no means a Zach Wilson apologist or like super fan or anything like that. I like to play the devil's advocate role, whereas when I see a million people dunking on the kid, sometimes I can't help but try to find something there to kind of root for. And when you invest the second overall pick on a guy, like, those high picks don't grow on trees. Like, the Jets should be doing everything in their power to get value out of that. So with those scenarios in play, I'm definitely was cheering for Zach this year. I thought he did what they asked him as a game manager. Yes, there were some issues. Yes, he was missing some plays, but I think he did, some good things too. And I think he showed a lot of progress from last year's disaster of a season. So to call him out as the main reason why the Jets were losing and him being the one to lose his job, not Hackett, not wide receivers, not Joe Douglas, but scapegoating Zach, you get the situation you're in right now. You get Tim Boyle with some disastrous starts. Trevor Siemian ain't the guy, and now you're left tail between your legs going back to Zach, and as per Diane Rossini, is reluctant to step back in the starting role. And I'm kind of torn on this. I'm split as in, like, yes, I feel like Zach, yes, stick up for yourself. He knows he's in the building. He's saying all the things he needs to say now after learning from last year's mistake. He knows he's not the sole issue of that offense. He knows he has no one to throw the ball to. He knows that Hackett's calling, some not very creative plays for him. And he was a good soldier. He's behind an O-line that can't block. He's getting smashed. He's getting crushed at every second. And he's delivered some good balls. If anyone, Garrett Wilson should have been pounding the table for Zach to never get benched in the first place. Garrett Wilson was seeing double-digit targets the last 4 weeks with Zach. He was getting force-fed that ball. And to let it go to Tim Boyle, like, Garrett Wilson's got to see that in practice. Like, we don't know where the support was or if anyone was supporting Zach or if everyone was on board with throwing him away, but this is where we're at now. And if I'm Zach and now they're curling back to you, it's a bit of an ego thing. Not that you could have much of an ego in Zach's position, but it's like, if he must have feelers whether or not he knows his career with the Jets is over. And, why go out there behind a porous O-line, risk injury, risk further ridicule from fans, because fans are just done with this team right now. So I could see the negative of him potentially going back out there. But on the flip side, with what has just transpired the last 3 weeks without Zach could literally ride in there and just play competent football, make some plays, and he'll look like, compared to what we just got the last 2 weeks, he might look like a average starting quarterback. Zach has the potential. He's kind of had this little 3-week break to kind of reset himself. He's been talking with Aaron, obviously, a lot. Maybe he goes out there, makes some plays, builds some value back up for him, and builds some respect. And maybe that helps him in the future, whether another NFL team wants to take a shot on him, whether they bring him in as a backup, a developmental project, whatever it may be. I know it's a bad situation, but there's only so many starting NFL jobs in the NFL. And, his career is, not looking the brightest right now. It might probably makes the most sense for him to go out there and try to execute and put some good tape up. Because then, maybe some competent coaching staff can take a look at that and be like, you know what? Let's take a shot at this Zach Wilson guy. Let's put him on the bench. Let's get him acclimated to our system. We've got a great O-line here. Maybe another team does that, because the Jets just don't have the structure in place for Zach Wilson to succeed. Maybe no one does. Maybe Zach just never will. But, look at the Jets' track record. You could go through the quarterbacks that have come through here and have not succeeded. I don't know. I feel for the kid. I really do. And if I had to advise him, I would say suit up. Suit up. But you know what's the funny thing? If he did suit up and put a couple good games together and then screws the Jets out of a better draft pick, I could see the fans getting upset with the Jets for that. Like, you just can't win in this scenario. You can't win. But again, for Zach personally, for the guys on the team personally, I think Zach should suit up and, try to get a W next week. So that'll wrap up this rant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We'll see you all in the next video.